audio, video. Welcome everyone to our Interdisciplinary Software Seminar. Let's jump right in. I'm going to highlight our data right there. It's very important data because it represents the results of national elections. As we saw last time, we're going to be replacing the Brazilian electronic urn with our virtual urn for the upcoming 2022 Brazilian elections. Here's a review of the idea we did last time, except last time I just recommended you a video instead. Well, I'm going to review that by introducing this animal called the cryptographic function. I'm not actually going to introduce it because it was introduced in a video recommended on Seminar 1. But what the cryptographic function does is it takes in a variable number of bits, whatever that block of data is, and it spits out always a fixed number of bits. So in this example, 4 bits. Now, I tried to give you last time some insight into what the insides of a cryptographic function might look like, you know. So, but here we're going to think of this cryptographic function as something that spits out random bits. And what we mean by random, I mean, in fact, they're deterministic. So we call them pseudo-random. But all these 16 choices of the 4 bits are equally likely. Now, if we append this result of our cryptographic function, which we call a message digest, if we append it to our message or our block of data, whatever it is, it exists, you know, somewhere out there in cyberspace. Well, let's say one of these bits got corrupted, you know. If it just disappeared, we would probably be able to tell that we're missing a bit. But let's say it got, you know, replaced from a 1 to a 0, whatever. Chances are 15 out of 16 that we detect this error. Why? Well, you know, we're not going to get this corrupted because these are only 4 bits. But we're probably going to get this corrupted because this is, you know, a god-awful number of many bits. So chances are pretty close. They're not exactly 15 out of 16, but chances are pretty close to 15 out of 16 that we detect, you know, some error there, if it exists. But to go one step further, what we have to do is really look at something right here. I'm highlighting it in blue. Coffee, break, there's the pot, and then there's the coffee pot. Well, seriously, you know, we have to think real hard here. Out of the blue, really out of the blue, we're going to require that the message digest have 3 leading zeros. So whatever data we have, we're only going to accept 3 leading zeros, 0, 0, 0, this right here, as our message digest. We're going to do that apparently arbitrarily, and we'll see where that takes us. Well, in order to get this message digest with our original data here, which is just the data alone, we're not gonna get it. Chances are, you know, there's 16 possible combinations, and we will only accept 2 of the 16 possible combinations. So just from the random properties of the cryptographic function, we already know that there's a 7 in 8 chance it ain't gonna happen. Now, what we're gonna do is we're going to, okay, say, well, we'll just put in the original message digest right there. Let me try to get that. Yeah, right there. That's the original message digest. We'll just append that to the data. And then we're going to append something else, you know, these question marks, these mystery bits. Well, these mystery bits, we're going to have to compute. There's no algorithmic way to find them that we know of except trial and error. So we're going to compute them. We're going to have to compute the cryptographic function of the data, all the data, plus the mystery bits over and over again until eventually we get three leading zeros, like so, either one or the other in the message digest. What I wrote next is quite a mouthful. I'm not going to read it out loud. But I will say this. The computational environment we're creating here is one where the data becomes extremely resilient, so long as there are good machines doing very hard computational work to make that data resilient. And the good machines outnumber the bad machines in computational time and effort. So what we want to do is think about how Bitcoin addresses this. And what Bitcoin does is it gives good incentives for this computational work to get done by at least some users so as to secure the network's good data. This is what is known as data mining. Okay, so here, these mystery bits right there are the actual Bitcoins, or should I say what the data mining software is looking for. And once the data mining, they're not the actual Bitcoins, I'm sorry, the Bitcoins are transactional. But these mystery bits are what the data miners are looking for. Okay, and once they find them, they get awarded a certain fraction of Bitcoin. So what happens here is there's transactional costs to Bitcoin, and the transactional costs go to the data miners, who will make sure that, well, they're getting their incentives, so they're all good, right? They want the system to keep going. So let's just try to imagine what that would look like in our election software. Maybe we can set up a company, a virtual company, that doesn't exist yet, award shares in this company to people who are keeping the system sound. And then we turn to the Brazilian government and say, look, our system is so much more cost effective that there's no way, even if, we charge you half as much as what you're actually paying for elections, there's no way you can refuse because you're cutting costs all over the place. So, what ends up happening here is that, maybe this sounds kind of venal. Maybe this sounds like how the Ferengi would conduct an election. The Ferengi from Star Trek Next Generation. Well, they would conduct an election by setting up a business first. So let's just, switch gears. By the way, this is where we get really interdisciplinary because, well, not really, I don't know. But here's what I'm trying to say here. We will attempt to do this by using good timing. That is to say, getting enough people interested in executing the right code in the spirit of our killer app. So let's talk a little bit about how that app might look like. And first of all, I'd like to thank my friend Fernando for writing a comment on one of my videos. I know that the comment came out okay, so that way I know the channel is accepting, hopefully, your comments as well. Switching gears, I would think along the lines of users authenticating other users. So we don't actually know how the election's gonna look like. We're keeping this pretty general. I'm back. I've had a wonderful experience with global industrial civilization tonight. For the equivalent of 25 US dollars in equivalent exchange, I've had this magnificent Mediterranean salmon delivered right to my doorstep. Back to the seminar. I'm reminded of a graduate student who taught me how to program, and one of the things he'd say is, you know, uh, imagine a world where the users are interacting with the machines, and just work your way back from there. So, with this in mind, what I would imagine is a system where the users will manually authenticate themselves. And I'll explain what I mean. Let's say you download the app, you record a video of yourself. And in this video, you say, you state your case and what election you would like to participate. And once that's sorted out, you have other users manually checking out your videos, and your video, and they're doing that for their own sake because they want brownie points for authenticating videos so that they can get their videos authenticated. And that's just one brainstorm possibility. But I'm not sure what to do here yet. This is it for now. Next time, I'll either have cellular automaton code to share with you or further comments about the humanities aspect of our project. See you then. Thanks for watching. Thanks a lot. And comments are more than welcome. Bye.